करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ओम निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम येरिमे गुरुवे पूर्वं पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। ओम चित्रं वडतरोर्मूले वृद्धा शिष्या गुरुर्युवा गुरोस्तु मौनव्याख्यानं शिष्यास्तु छिन्न संशयाः। ओम जगतीमवितुं कलिताकृतयो विचरन्ति महामहसच्छलतः अहिमांशुरिवात्र विभासि गुरो भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्। Let us chant the mantras once. Om समस्त ब्रह्म विद्या आचार्येभ्यो नमः ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः मंडूक महर्षे नमः गौडपादाचार्यवर्याय नमः आद्य शंकर सद्गुरवे नमः अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम अथ अथर्ववेदान्तर्गत माण्डूक्योपनिषद ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येम अक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गये स्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम ओमित्येतदक्षरमिदगं सर्वं तस्योपव्याख्यानं भूतं भवद्भविष्यतीति सर्वमोङ्कार एव यच्चान्यत्रिकालातीतं तदप्योङ्कार एव सर्वं हि एतद् ब्रह्म अयमात्मा ब्रह्म सोऽयमात्मा चतुष्पात् जागरितस्थानः बहिष्प्रज्ञः सप्ताङ्गः एकोनविंशतिमुखः स्थूलभुक् वैश्वानरः प्रथमपादः स्वप्नस्थानः अन्तःप्रज्ञः सप्ताङ्गः एकोनविंशतिमुखः प्रविविक्तभुक् तैजसद्वितीयः पादः यत्र सुप्तो न कञ्चन कामं कामयते न कञ्चन स्वप्नं पश्यते तत्सुषुप्तं सुषुप्तज्ञानः एकीभूतः प्रज्ञान सुषुप्तस्थानः एकीभूतः प्रज्ञानघन एव आनन्दमयो हि आनन्दभुक् चेतोमुखः प्राज्ञः तृतीयः पादः एष सर्वेश्वरः एष सर्वज्ञः एषोऽन्तर्यामी एष योनिः सर्वस्य प्रभवाप्यौ हि भूतानां नान्तप्रज्ञं न बहिष्प्रज्ञं नोभयतप्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञानघनं न प्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञम् अदृष्टम् अव्यवहार्यमग्राह्यम् अलक्षणम् अचिन्त्यम् अव्यपदेश्यम् एकात्मप्रत्यसारं प्रपञ्चोपशमं शान्तं शिवम् अद्वैतं चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते स आत्मा सविज्ञेयः सोऽयमात्माध्यक्षरम् ओङ्कारः अधिमात्रं पादामात्राः मात्राशपादाः अकार उकारो मकार इति जागरितस्थानः वैश्वानरः अकारः प्रथमा मात्रा आप्तेः आदिमत्वाद्वा आप्नोति वै सर्वान् कामान् आदिश्च भवति य एवं वेद स्वप्नस्थानः तैजसः उकारः द्वितीया मात्रा उत्कर्षादुयत्वाद्वा उत्कर्षतेः वैज्ञानसन्दतिं समानश्च भवति न अस्य ब्रह्मवित्कुले भवति य एवं वेद सुषुप्तस्थानः प्राज्ञः मकारः तृतीया मात्रा मितेः अभितेः वा मिनोति वा इदं सर्वम् अभिदिश्च भवति य एवं वेद अमात्रः चतुर्थः व्यवहार्यः प्रपञ्चोपशमः शिवः अद्वैतः एवम् ओङ्कारः आत्मा एव संविशत्यात्मनात्मानं य एवं वेद य एवं वेद। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम अथ अलाथ शांत्याख्य चतुर्थ प्रकरणम्. What we are doing regularly by grace of Lord Guru, the three things which we have to add are, along with what we are studying, is as we just now said the word, the regularity, the consistency in it. Second thing is what? Learning the art of doing this willfully, joyfully, willingly and joyfully. One is regularity, second is willingly and joyfully doing it. How do we do willingly and joyfully? Only when we are little more convinced about, firm about wanting to reach to the goal. If the desire to reach the goal is stronger, If we are doing it willingly, joyfully, and if we are consistent and regular, we start seeing the results of all these spiritual sadhana. So these 2 years, let us say, of listening all these shastras has become a sample for us or become test for us whether we can study or not, listen or not, can maintain our interest in that continuously or not. So to some extent we can say yes, we have succeeded in this, but this is not be all and end all of everything. In this, never ever giving up attitude with the attitude that I must reach out to the truth, what is indicated by the Shastra. Then, the most important ingredient we have to add consciously is that I am pursuing such a noble path. Therefore, let me do it joyfully, it's willingly. Like, because of this willingness, joyfulness only, we are able to be consistent in our classes. In the same way, even deeply pursuing sadhanas, willingly, joyfully, whether it is a homework at after the class of studying the Upanishad, whether it is making our own notes, whether even sitting for the contemplation or even meditation, finding out timings, planning out ourselves in such a way, we are able to manage. And even after reaching on to the seat of Dhyanam, there also that bubbling joy and enthusiasm, if you can bring at the time of contemplation meditation, then that become more effective, more deeper, more wonderful. So this is how what we have to do after knowing it, how we have to know, we have to know it. After knowing, we have to do what we know. That is how keep on moving. And any other things that happen in the world, even to our surroundings as around or even to Dehadi, it goes on happening. Due cares we have to do, take due things what we are supposed to do, we do them, but beyond a limit, one need not worry. And anytime any type of fears come regarding sadhana or life, always focus on one thought. Ki, I am imperishable. I am the self. To that self, there is no perishability. Therefore, that is always secured. That I have to discover. Other than I, anything the not I is perishable. Therefore, with all your efforts and worries, anxieties, we are not going to stop it. When we grow stronger in this understanding, then the fears which come for various reasons, they go away. And the biggest of the fear is fear of insecurity only. So as a self, I am always secured. Therefore, one need not have fears. As a not self, we need not be secured because it is not the self. It goes on. But then, as long as it is there, we make best use of it. This is how always being aware about what is happening around, what is happening within, and how we are seeing this world, how we are reacting or responding to the world. Are we becoming more worldly or more spiritual? With this thought, we can definitely do justice, more justice, to the opportunity given by the Lord and Guru of listening to these Adbhuta Vedanta Shastras. Now we are almost the fag end of Sri Mandukya Upanishad with all the Karikas with Bhashya, which is a very tough, difficult, impossible, in fact, attempt only. But we've done it without understanding anything. We're almost up to the conclusion of this Upanishad. Now, mind, we got a taste of it. So, we have seen here Adi Buddha Prakruteva Sarve Dharma Sunishtitaha Yasevam Bhavati Kshanti Somrtatvaye Galpate Adi Shantahyan Utpannaha Prakruteva Sunirvataha Sarve Dharma Samabhinnaha Ajam Samyam Visharadam. These are the slokas talking about the inherent, innate nature of the self, which cannot be otherwise. And that self we are. Somehow, with that inexplicable, powerful Maya, we as if are living a life of separateness from that our real essential self. Through all this listening, through all this study, through all this inquiry, through all this meditation, we are traveling from this notional, unreal me to the real me. And to reach to the real me, there is sadhana to be done. But The real me need not be modified suitable to us because already it is modified and suitable. These two slokas, Adi Buddhahi, okay, Prakrutya eva. The Prakrutya is by nature. By nature, it is always self is consciousness and awareness only. There is no doubt about it, it is firm in that. This is how we have to understand. So, that Adi Buddha, Bhashakar explained that the Adi Buddhatva of consciousness is like the Nitya Prakasha Swarup of the Surya, that it is not boasting itself that I am Prakasha, nor it is proving to others, nor it is getting any benefit being so, nor it is helping others being so. That is the meaning of Prakriti Ayava. It's nature. So, to the conscious self by nature is consciousness. It is not for itself to boast, nor for itself to get any benefit, nor it is even to help anyone. Others are getting help, the upadhis, etc., are getting illuminated in the presence of the self. That's okay, but the self is not a doer of illuminating or enlivening or supporting all these upadhis. So, from this side of the Atma or the Surya Bhagavan, there is no kartrutva, there is no kriya, there is no karma, there is no karma phala, there is no karta. Is the Surya Bhagavan the karta of the giver of the light? Is he doing the karma of giving the light? No, he is not doing karta. He is not a karta, he is not a giver. It is his nature. So too the nature of self is Sachidananda. It is not giving Satta and Chitta to anything else. They may be taking. Is it not? It's the nature of the mango tree to give that fruits. It is not giving it to somebody. That's why anybody can pluck and eat. It can be a bird also, it can be a monkey also, it can be children also, youth also, old, anybody. It has no connection at all with that. That is why in the presence of consciousness, a devil can live, a divine person can live, a ordinary human can live. In the human also, an intellect is illumined, the mind is illumined, the senses, body, all of them are activated. If in him any biasness is there, this much generalization would have not been possible. Because there is no particularization, everything is general, there is no biasness. There is no biasness means there is no individuality. Because wherever the individuality is there, somehow or the other, sometime or the other, or somehow or the other reason, it becomes biased. So conscious self is not biased in such a way that the same me in this life as a human, next life I may be an animal, but the consciousness will illuminate equally both of them. Like under the light in a stage of drama, a comedy movie can play, comedy nataka somebody may do, a tragedy wala he may do, a social related he may do, but the light has no problem. It keeps on illuminate. All simultaneously it illuminates. Everybody goes away, it continues to illuminate. So to the self in us. That's all Adi Buddha. And in being so, it has no purpose again for it to get liberated because it is Adi Shanta. The next sloka is very powerful. Adi Shanta Shantaha. Anutpannaha Prakruteva Sunirvrutaha Sarve Dharmaha Samahabhinnaha Ajam Samyam Visharadam. On these words, the more we ponder, the more we try to understand them and also understand that it is not the thing to be understood, but it is to be experienced, the more we are making the Shastra enter us. Like Adi Shantaha means what? It is ever Shanta, it is never Ashanta. Because any Ashanti comes because from within or outside there is something other than it which is troubling it or binding it. Bandhana. Such person only which is in the bandhana from within or without, like from within is all the kama, krodha, raga, dvesha, frustration. They create Ashanti in me. From outside, the people, their behavior, the atmospheric changes, is it not? They make me Ashanti. And then for the outer Shanti, I just put all the AC if it is hot. Avoid the people if they are troubling. And inside the Raga, Dvesha, Kama, Krodha, accordingly I act and try to remove the Ashanti. These are all the lot of Jiva and identified with the Deha. But the real self always is Adishanta. It is such an infinite thing. Eternally. Adi means Shuru se, Abhi, also later on. None of the upadhis, inner and outers, none of the changes that are happening in the upadhis, inner and outer, have caused even a little dent. Like all the four elements not touching the akasha even little. And neither they add beauty to akasha, nor they make it ugly. That is the immaculate, undisturbed nature of the akasha called as Shanta. So to Adi Shanta, that is the self. Very sublime it is. And as we become deeper, deeper in meditation for hours, years together, when we do these things, we will experience that this is what is me. I am that continuous, constant, conscious, existing existence which got never disturbed by anything. I was in a delusion, like I was in dream. I was not chased by the tiger or income tax people. That was only imagined in the dream. In the waking plane, I neither went to jungle nor I avoided taxes. I paid. So none of them. That feeling start coming. Is it not? I am Adishant. I am always such an undisturbed being. But who was getting disturbed? The deluded. Who was getting dream problem? The dreamer. Dreamer is real in dream, but when he wakes up, he is not there. Because of the illusion or hallucination that he, the dreamer, is real, that the dream world was valid, or the world was valid, therefore the dreamer was apparently real. But when you wake up, both of them gone. In the same way, Adishanta. And this Adishantatva is Anutpannaha, means it is not caused. Remember always, the caused happiness goes away when the cause goes away. The caused Shanti goes away when the cause goes away. So the Shanti of mind is eternal, one point. Second is uncaused. Because it is eternal, it continues. And if it is uncaused, therefore it is not dependent on anything. If it is caused, it depends on something else. Then that thing we have to procure. Ye anutpanna adishanti. I am that self, which eternally peace uncaused. Peace means here liberation. Shanti means mukti. Mukti means all the upadhis. So, sarve dharma sunirvrutaha. They are always in itself in its blissful state. Nirvrutaha, I said both withdrawal as well as it is always in the state of pleasantness, state of bliss. Now, when these two are discovered, no, I am Adishanta and I am Anutpanna. Obviously, I find it within me the nirvruti. The Ashanti or the Dukkha comes only either out of fear of change or destruction, or the actually the happening of change or destruction. In the pure self, there is no change, there is no destruction. Therefore, it's nirvruta. Nirvruta means what? Without any tension, relaxed, happy. And the doctors ensure that 10 साल 20 साल कोई तबीयत खराब नहीं होगा, तुम perfect हो. When you go for all tests, that feeling is called nirvrita hamma. मुझे कुछ नहीं है. There's always anxiety, fear till the reports come. And if some report positive comes, then there is very frightening fear. Our tension, the thinking process goes in different direction. Which medicine to take, what cares to take, all that. But if it is said that all reports are normal, you are perfect, there is no further thinking. Sunirvrita. So in that Sunirvrita sthiti, all the efforts cease. There is nothing to do. I am Nirvrita. Earlier I was thinking I am a Jiva, I did with Deha. No, I was eking out or taking out the things of the world. Later on, I pursued spiritual path. As much unreal is pursuit of spiritual path, so much the pursuit of the worldliness also. Both were belonging to being a Jiva. There were struggles, there were efforts, there was anxieties. But now As an acme of the spiritual sadhana, when I discovered I am Adishanta and Anutpanna, I am Nirvruta, fully eaten, bhojan, pet tak. Itni shanti hai, then there's not, so many items kept around, but we're not tempted by it. Nirvruta. Sarve dharma nirvruta. So find you are as Adishanta and Anutpanna, then you are in Nirvrati. If not, Adishanta, then you are in Bandhana. Then that jiva is once I am happy, Utpanna, another time the happiness is gone, then he is never in Nirvrata. He is never at ease of peace. Always I am trying to gain happiness or to maintain it. Happiness at that condition is through some outer conditionings. If it is people, we want to gain people, maintain people. If the things, gain things and maintain them. The whole effort is only in gaining and maintaining. And whenever we are effortful, remember the happiness and peace is not real. In Nidra, the happiness peace is so much because of minimum effort. Only to maintain the avidya vrutti there, that I don't know anything. Other than there is no effort, therefore happiness more. In the other two planes, nirantara struggle. Therefore, happiness is always deluding, alluring thing. We are in the world in anticipation of happiness, not because of happiness. Even if happiness comes, again there is a sense of fear that it may go away. Therefore, again something we do to maintain it. But in the self, Adishanta Anutpannaha Sunirvrita. Sunirvriti means the effortless state of peace and quiet happiness within oneself. Then they said, Sarve Dharmaha Samaha Bhinnaha, and this is the first one is Atma Jnana. Second is Brahma Jnana. Third is Sarvatma Bhava. Atma Jnana is I discovered myself beyond the Panchakoshas. Brahma Jnana is behind the universe, Samashti, ke piche bhi what is there is same. That is Brahma Jnana. Therefore, I myself am there in and through everything is called as Sarvatma Bhava. In that Sarvatma Bhava, be attentive. In and through every Upadhi also I am not there. Not only in human beings. In all the beings I am there, whether plant or animal or anything. Sarvatma Bhava is that. Second is, at the higher level, even the Upadhis, which are functional, the Upadhis also are not other than me. Because Sarvatma means Sarvam Atma eva avut. Deha also is on me only it is superimposed. What is appearing as Deva, Deha is me only thereafter. Earlier, Panchabhautika modifiable Deha is me. Now what? Whatever appearing as Deha, the Mula Padartha is me. Even though the Deha is superimposed, superimposition cannot be without substratum, no? Without Adhisthana, Adhyastha cannot be Adhyasaropa. Therefore, I am the Adhisthana. That's called Vishwarupa. Is it not? विश्व में अंतरंग में जो आत्मा है वो है सार्वात्म भाव. But what is there in the Sarvatma Bhava? Entire Vishwa is my own Rupa. Whether it's a tree or the branches of the tree or the roots of the tree, leaves, the flowers of the tree, what is there in all of them? Is not the same existence and consciousness. Yeah. Are they two? No. Therefore, Sarvatma Bhava mein even that is also me. That's what Abhinnaha. Sarve Dharma Samaha Abhinnaha. In and through the entire Namarupatmaka Jagat, as essence, what is there is that only. That is called as Samaha. Such things are not two, therefore Abhinnaha. And such one is Ajam Samyam Visharadam. That is not caused, it is nature. Samyam, it's always in that state of Samatha. Vishuddhi, the such thing is again not two. Vishuddhi, purity. That Vishuddhi is called Visharada in the next shloka. Now we will see this Bhashya of 94, which we studied yesterday. Vaisharadyantu vainasti भेदे विचरतां सदा भेदनिम्नाः पृथग्वादाः तस्मात् ते कृपणा स्मृताः वैशारद्यन्तु वै नास्ति भेदे विचरतां सदा भेदनिम्नाः पृथग्वादाः तस्मात् ते कृपणाः स्मृताः. For this, what Bhashyakara gave the avatarika is ye yathoktam paramartha tattvam pratipannah. Those who have discovered the absolute truth as said so far, te eva akrupanaha. They are the only ones who are not finite, who are not limited, who are not conditioned, who are not dina, who are not slaves, who are not beggars, who are not the depending people. They are the meanings of akrupanatva. They are not looking up to anything or being for any favor. Akrupana. Kurpana means very limited, very conditioned, very in a state of absolute pittiness. Like Arjuna is in such a pittiness from within, seeing the situation around. Should I fight or not? Fight, there is a problem. Don't fight, there is a problem. Fight, win, there is a problem. Lose, there is a problem. The indecisiveness in him because of lack of right data or knowledge or corrupted data for the time being. He was in such a funny state that he has forgotten that he is Arjuna vai Gandivam Yasavai Dhanu. He has forgotten that he has conquered so many times, so many places are the kings. Psychologically, he has come to the level of I can't live now. I want to be dying. Let them kill me. I don't want to fight the war. Yadi mam apratikaram, remember, ashastram, ashastrabanaya dhartarashtaha rane hanyo, tad me kshemataram bhavet. I will not retaliate, I will not lift my bow and arrow. Let them take all the arrows and kill me. I believe that is better. That suicidal tendency in which Arjuna was there at that time is called Krupanata. In ourselves also, sometimes everything is lost. Nothing is seen. Light is not seen. I am good for nothing. I will not improve. I cannot change. My life is like that only. And when people become sick, they enter into the Krupana Bhava. Especially when the disease it is serious वाला और कृपणता में आ जाते हैं. अब मेरा क्या होगा, मेरा कोई कुछ कर नहीं सकता मेरा. Then the dejection, the tendency of I am now not going to survive, etc. All those words come in Krupana. From the grossest expression that I cannot happy without you. This is the beginning of Kurbanata. To the such an extent that I can't live now. It is waste of me living. I can't do anything. I can't achieve anything. That extreme. ये पूरे बीच के रेंज में जो भी उस नेगेटिव इमोशंस होते हैं, they are all the कृपणता at different grades. So such people who have discovered the self, as said, Adi Buddha and Adi Shanta, etc., they are the only ones who are akrupana. And all others who have not discovered their unborn, unmodifying, undying self, you have not discovered that self to be the self in all. Other than that, that person may be by position. He is a Brahmadeva or Vishnu Deva or Indradi Deva. All of them are Krupana. That's why in Pauranika stories, we can see sometime even Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara also stooping to some lower level. Like Brahmadeva in Krishna Avatara. He himself came and taken away all the cows and calves. That act itself is a sign of his Krupanata. That he was jealous of Lord Krishna being worshipped as God and becoming famous. That feeling is Kripana. So too the Indra. When they were all doing worship of Govardhana, as told by Lord Bhagavan Krishna, he felt the Krupanata inside him. Is it not? Then he came and gave that huge Samarthaka Mega Varsha for 7 days. You understand? Anyone who is not in Ekameva Dvayam Brahma, Nehana Nasti Jnana, anyone, that person is in Krupanata. That's what he says. Te eva akrupanaha loke, krupanaha eva anye ityaha. All others are krupanata. In the krupanata bhava, there is always feeling of limitation, feeling of fear, feeling of insecurity, feeling of doing something, getting something, wanting something, involving in something, indulging in something. Wherever these type of thoughts, actions are happening, means we are not complete in ourselves. That incompleteness, that limitationness is called kurpanata. But this person who discovered himself everywhere, Akramana, I am the king now of my own inner Atma Samraj. देखो क्या बढ़िया सा एक्सपीरियंस है. And this specially it has to be told at this junction because we are coming to the conclusion of the Upanishad. सब पढ़कर भी, if you go for study of another Upanishad or some other pursuit, is it not? Other than the Supreme Self, that means what? We have not got the finer and final message of Karika Kara Upanishad. The meaning of this is what? Only the Atmagnan is Akrupana, everybody is Kurpana. Means what? Do you want to continue as Kurpana? No. Then any pursuit other than discovering self is Kurpana only. They don't waste your time for that. Same thing in devotion language is Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. Samprapte Naini Sanite Kale, Naine Rakshati Dukrum Karane. Means in the time of departure, nothing protects you. You will be a Krupana at that time. What protects is the Bhaja Govindam which you have done throughout your life. It has lot of meanings in that context. We will not explain now. That is not the text we are studying. But the idea is take akrupanaha. Yo vai ye ythoktam paramartha tattvam pratipannah te eva akrupanaha loke. Remember, the krupanata in us, though seemingly is imposed by the outer pressures, but it is inner experience, inner feeling created from inside only because of lack of right wisdom. Is it not? Even the Vyavahara also, everybody doing what they can do. They are not troubling us. If somebody is insulting us or somebody is cheating us, they are doing what they are doing. They are not troubling. But we get troubled from within because we don't know how to tackle it, how to protect from it. Therefore, where is the lacuna? It is from within, not outside. In the same way, the outer things won't do the kripanata to me. I inside myself feel that's again lack of wisdom that I am the akrupana sarva vyabhaga atma. Simple word kya hai? If you are identified with limited upadhi and consider yourself limited, then you are krupana. Nirupadhika unlimited atma, unmodifiable atma. When you identify with that, there is no chance of krupanata. This is how the spirituality guides us. So, in that you can see the feeling in Karika Kara, looking at the all jivas, depending on each other, frustrated from within, getting cheated by others, looking at all of them, "Arey Bewkuf Krupan log." There's a chance for all of you to become wholesale Akrupana. Discover your Ekavayavadva himself. Then that sar कटा सकते हैं नहीं लेकिन सर झुका नहीं सर जो सर झुकाता है वो कृपण है. He says, why should I झुकाओ my sir? Why? I am the self. I am that infinite self. किससे डरना है बताओ? मृत्यु से? I am not अजम साम्यम विशारदम. I have to be afraid from somebody else. Who is there other than me? Is there any fear of change from within? No, I won't change. Or is there lacking of any infinitude? No, I am finite, infinite. Is there anything which I am missing or there is no happiness? No, I am blissful. When I am infinite, when I am unborn, undying, I am blissful. There is nothing other than me to trouble me. And all this is when it is effortless. I am Akrupana. But now you see, as a Jiva and as Dehatadhatma Vyakti, as a Jagrat Purusha, as our relativity with the others, 24 आवर्स कृपण कृपण कृपण, कुछ करके भी, कुछ ना करके भी, कुछ पाकर भी, कुछ नहीं पाके भी, लगातार लगा ही रहता है कृपणता. And remember, the identification with the nation also kripana. The identification with your religion also kripana. Is it not? You are Hindu. Kripana, because the Hinduism being troubled by others. That's the feeling तो आ गया ना, the कृपणता हो गया. Even being a upasaka also is कृपणा. And he is more कृपणा only. भगवान मेरे भला करो, मेरी डोरी तेरे हाथ ठीक तरह खींचो. Everything, every identity on the base of anything is कृपणा. You are a topmost person in the world in the money. Every 3 months they do these ratings and they put it in the paper. In this month or these 3 months, the richest person is this one. But he is also Krupana. We always have to maintain it. And there are 2-3 people nowadays. Every 2 months they jump. इसका थोड़ा बिजनेस उसके इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ गए तो ही becomes top. And the other fellow by chance थोड़ा ही फर्क है दोनों में, some thousands or dollars or million. उनके लिए वो 2 दिन का सैलरी. In India also, every 1 month you say, he is in top, he is in top, he is top. But always the Kripana. What is the essence we have to gain here in the Upadgata is, other than discovering our infinite inner self, we cannot be a Kripana, will be Kripana. Kripana cannot avoid effort, cannot avoid fear, cannot avoid misery. परिश्रम करते रहना पड़ेगा, डरते ही रहना पड़ेगा, दुख रहता ही है उसको. Permanently you want to be free from all these things, the fears, efforts, and miseries. You discover you are the fearless, effortless, always blissful, infinite, akrupana Atma. Be fixed in this thought. And as much as possible, keep pursuing the path of knowing our akrupana Atma Swarupa. But fix that till I discover myself, in any yoni I go, I'll be krupana. This should help us in one thing. Never seek anything other than self. Otherwise, if this is not understood that everything is other than the self is Kurpanatha, if it's not Pakka understood, then we seek. When we seek, not that we don't get, we get it, but it is Krupanatha, therefore the seeking is of no use. When in and through everything we seek, we are asking for Akrupanatha, is it not? We don't want to be conditioned, we don't want to be effortful, we don't want to be miserable. We all want to be unconditionally, effortlessly happy. When we are seeking that through everything, and everything through which we are seeking that are not providing it. And there is another path of knowing the self which provides to us the Akrupanatha. Seek that only. Don't go to any other temptation. You may become, again I am saying, the richest person of the earth, but still you are a Krupana. You become monarch of the entire world, still you are a Krupana. सिर्फ सर्वव्यापक नित्य निरंतर रहने वाला आत्म तत्व से तादात्म्य करने से ही the feeling of कृपणता from me goes away. That is a complete, that's a fullness up to the brim level, the bliss. And that. That is the ecstasy, therefore, of those Atma Jnanis. The first time जब होता है ना, thereafter they know everything is so, therefore they come down. But in the first experience, they dance, they jump. जैसे कि भक्त को द डीपेस्ट डिवोशन विथ सरेंडर वाला जब लग जाता है, पागल बनता है वो, बिकॉज दैट जॉय इज सो ब्यूटिफुल, बिकॉज दैट स्ट्रगलिंग ईगो डिस्कवर्ड इट सपोर्ट इन द सरेंडर ऑफ द लॉर्ड. पक्का हो गया वो. ही जम्प्स विद जॉय, सेज आई एम नाउ एट हिज फीट, ही इज टेकिंग केयर ऑफ मी. ही इज नो मोर एफर्ट. इट्स अ डिस्कवरी दैट आई एम बीइंग टेकन केयर बाय द टोटलिटी. In devotion at the highest level, he understands that I am the individual is total. The individual cannot be without total's grace. Total alone is minding every part of individuality in its best of efforts, good of intentions. There were nothing to be worried. That joy is the joy of a devotee. Mero to Girdhar Gopal, we will do everything. Why can I? How can I be worried about anything? पागल है क्या? I was underestimating him and his efforts and love for me. I discovered बहुत रेयर लोगों को ये होता है. Till that time, we only do devotion. Devotion is a karma for us, kriya for us, upasana prakriyas. These all lead to an experience. Like Prahlada, उनका काम है आके बचाएंगे. It is his job. I know it. He does it. Same way in the jnana also. I am the akrupana sarvavyapaka tattva. If we don't discover it, suffer the kripanata. Everything Kripana, they go, I do satsang. Again a Kripana. If more people not come, they don't listen. What is the frustration? This even doing satsang on Upanishad, it would have been done little better. How much ever you do, in any doing, there's a limitation. They can't master the language, they can't master the examples. How it's all Kripanata. Any karma, any bhavana, where there is some Dvaita is there, it's always Kripana. समझ गए ना. ये यथोक्तम परमार्थ तत्व प्रतिपन्नाः ते एव अकृपणाः लोके. बी क्लियर. एंड देन कृपणाः एव अन्ये. All others are limited. With the limited feeling, you can never be secured or happy. Ityaha. Now, about again what we spoke last 10 minutes, Usika, in this shloka more beautifully said. Vaisharadyantu vainasti bhede vicharatam sada veda nimnaha prathakvadaha tasmatu te krupanaha smrutaha. Very deep subject is detailed discussion. What literal meaning and bhashya we will see, that should make us complete in our understanding. Sufficient if not complete. What it says, Vaisharadyantu vai nasti bhede vicharatam sada. Those jivas who are doing vicharana, movement, conducting themselves, sada, always, in the bheda. Sada bhede vicharatam. Those are always in the conduction or mood of giving reality to the bheda. That Bheda is, yesterday we said, Jiva Ishvara Bheda, Jiva Jiva Bheda, Jiva Jagat Bheda, Jagat Jagat Bheda, Jagat Ishvara Bheda. In that, the difference is the primordial base on which all conductions are done. That is called Bhede Vicharata. In this Bheda, ultimate is, I am not the Brahman, I am the Jiva. So too the Jagat is not Brahman, Jagat is something else. Therefore, I am also other than the Jagat. Jagat is giving me Sukha or Jagat is persecuting me. Now, with this one thought that I am limited, I am somebody other than the God or the Jagat. How many thoughts or emotions or fears or the insecurities or jealousies or frustrations it is creating? Like anywhere, in a group of your 10 friends, when they are thick friends, the laughter, the giggling, the happiness is so beautiful because of one. Avinnata hai wahan. If a 11th person comes, or within the 10 only, बाकी 9 को एक के साथ गड़बड़ हुआ मानो, for any reason. Immediately you can see, for him the Bheda with them, for all of them also Bheda with him. Immediately all the loving joyfulness which was there, in a moment's time it goes away. You know, the sense of fear, the insecurity, then the suspicion, then the questioning, and then तुरंत हो गया वो. They doubt him, he doubts them, he feel they are all together cheating him. They all feel that this fellow is something odd now, we don't need to have him in our group. Such a loving talking people, suddenly if the 10th fellow comes, they become quiet. यार उसको जाने दे, फिर हम बात करेंगे. These all things which were happened in those, that individual also, that person which was not there when they were together, all that is here technically called as ashuddhi. Not having all of them and living a pure life of love when they were together, That is called as Vishuddhi. That Vishuddhi is called as Vaisharadhyam here. Therefore, what is said here? Vaisharadhyam tu vai nasti bhede vicharatam sada. So that Vishuddhi of laughing, giggling, wonderful life of happiness without question, without doubt, without a feeling of insecurity, that's called Vaisharadhyam, is not at all there. That Vishuddhi is not at all there. Always Antakarna is in the Ashuddhi of the six gunas of Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Matsarya are the Dvigunas of the Raga, Dvesha. This is called Ashuddhi when there is Bheda. आप चैन से रह नहीं सकते मानो जब भेद में होते हो. And that Bheda Bhava is so deeply rooted. Why? The Drushti is of Dehadi, and Dehadi are always Bheda Yukta. Drushti is on the mana and intellect. They are also Bheda Yukta. Your mind, my mind cannot be same. Some occasions your mind is better than mine. So I feel jealous about you and you feel bad. You feel arrogant that time. In other occasion, when my mind is superior than yours, I'll become egoistic and you become jealous. अब उपाधियों के दृष्टि से आप भेद हटा ही नहीं सकते जब तक भेद है अंतःकरण में अशुद्धि हो जाए. सी द डॉटर एंड डॉटर इन लॉ, as long as the mother dies till that time, for with the daughter there is no bheda. Therefore, the daughter, how much ever stupid she is, still she will not have the feeling of any insecurity or any kripanata. Because Mary beti, there is no difference. Mary one, she may be the cause of every problem at the house. But the Bahu, she may be the noblest. Is it not? But still, she has come from some other family. If that difference is maintained, the Bheda, always Ashuddhi in the mind. There is a questioning of all her activities. She is not given freedom. ऐसे क्यों सो रहे तुम उठ के काम करो? अरे, she will not tell that to daughter. The fellow is sitting in front of TV from morning. उनको नहीं कहती है. It means all her nonsense is okay because we are one. And this so sensible she is, yet have doubt because not one. Is it not? भेद में विशुद्धि नहीं होती है. वैशारद्यंत वही नास्ति भेदे विशरताम सदा. Any भेदा, spiritual भेदास of these five, जीव जगत, जीव जीव, जगत जगत, जीव ईश्वर, जगत ईश्वर, this भेद जब तक होता है ना, there cannot be quietness of the mind. It always will be in the doldrums, a variety of emotions. And with such a fluctuating emotions, how can we be happy, my dear? We are happy in spite of all frustration because it has become a habit to us. But that's not the only happiness that is possible as a human. We can be happy eternally, infinitely as the self. That all is broken because of the Ashuddhiness. The Ashuddhi is the vision of duality. Bhede vicharatam. Vaisharadhyam tu vai nasti. Bhede vicharatam. Therefore, the continental Veda, the Desha Veda, the religious Veda, the gender Veda, the Vayo Veda, then the Dhanadi Veda, the position Veda, the Varna Veda, the Ashram Veda, कितने हम भर के रखे हैं. How can we be happy then? And they can never be avoided when we are living life at the Upadis. Only when we transcend Upadi and discover the common denominator, which is one without second, then all Bheda Drishti goes away, then the Shuddhi, pure, immaculate comes. He is royal and kingly, therefore there is no Krupanata in him. See how important is this subject, how subtle it is. This is a science which is teaching us to rise above all the Krupanatas, which was caused by all the Veda Drishti, by showing us the Abheda Paramatma. And the funniest part is what? The Abheda Paramatma is absolute reality. Entire Veda Jagat is illusory. Absolute reality is giving Akrupanata and blissful nature, bliss. And this illusory world giving us Kripanata and Dukkha and bondage. And yet we don't want to leave this vision we don't want to take up that vision. That is a murkhata, which we have to discover that we are in that murkhata, and with our effort, we have to eliminate that. है ना? फंसाने वाले जगत को इतना वैल्यू दे रहे हैं, हंसाने वाले मेरे गुरु को जो है हम दूर कर रहे हैं। अब देखो, जब तक ये मूर्खता को रिकॉग्नाइज करके उससे बाहर नहीं आते हैं, तो हम हंसेंगे ही नहीं, फंसेंगे ही। The vision of duality binding me, the vision of unison liberates me. Then which vision I should have? Arey, common sense, yaar. That's why highest level spirituality teaches only common sense. There's nothing more than that. You be happy, that's common sense. Give others happiness, that's common sense. You can be happy by discovering yourself. That is a common sense. You can give others happiness by just showing their love. That's it. Common sense की बातें होते हैं वेदांत में. So the first line is very powerful. Vaisharyantentu vai nasti means they will have no vishuddhi in their thought, in their mind, in their emotion, in their variety of words or even actions. सब अशुद्ध बयासड़ी होंगे वो. On the dining table also. If you don't see in everyone the hungry person, instead of that, if you see some biasness in them, he is my child, not my child, then there is no vishuddhi in your thought and there is no vishuddhi in action. To your son, you give all the better things, to the other one, not better. Bhedava, that's okay when the son-in-law comes home, then to the husband you give kalka dahi ya kuch, to the son-in-law you give the better because he is doing the toughest task of managing your daughter. That's okay. वो वाला ठीक है व्यवहार में. होता है ना, कभी घर में आपके आते हैं तो उनको आप अच्छे-अच्छे देते हो एंड रेगुलर वन. दैट्स व्हाई सम डिवोटीज से, स्वामी जी आप आइए, घर आइए. आई यूज्ड टू थिंक कि दे इनवाइट बिकॉज़ आउट ऑफ डिवोशन एंड ऑल. बाद में पता चला व्हेन स्वामी गोस देयर, देन द वुमेन folk at home, they make good food and you will also get that. जब आप नहीं रहते हो, स्वामी जी क्या है ना, ऐसा खाना होता है. जब आ जाते हैं बढ़िया सा, तो आइएगा आप. एंड रियली गो देयर, एंजॉय. First line is so important. Vaisharadyantu vainasti bhede nijara vicharatam sada. I am chanting it so many times to make you familiar with the literal words because we never chant this text. Therefore, हमको शब्द शब्दों का अर्थ उससे वाक्य का अर्थ भी नहीं पता होता. शब्दार्थ वाक्यार्थ है तो then we can go for the अंतरार्थ, the वेदांत अर्थ. Like Gita and all, we chant so much, therefore we are familiar with that. Therefore, you can deeply delve in the meditation. इन मांडुक्य आदि ना कभी पढ़ा नहीं जिंदगी में, तो व्हाट कारिका कारा's language or vocabulary we are not familiar. तो keep on chanting, then you become. So it's so simple. भेदे विचरताम सदा भेदे विचरताम वैशारद्यम न अस्ति. जो हमेशा भेदभाव में रहते हैं उनको विशुद्धि होता ही नहीं in his thoughts, words and deeds. And where is no vishuddhi, how can you be akrupana? Remember, my inner impurity will trouble me till I remove that. It's like disease. When the disease there in the body, along with its causes, are there, you can never be healthy, na? तब तक उसको निकालोगे नहीं. Just like the physical disease makes me uneasy, so to the psychological disease makes me uneasy. The kripanata caused by Veda Drushti. चेंज नहीं होगा बाबा. मेरे अंदर के भेदभाव से मेरे मन में उत्पन्न होने वाले दुर्गुणों के कारण मेरे अंदर जो कृपणता होती है वो मुझे चैन से बैठ नहीं देती. Then the only was discourse. That's what large heartedness. And the largest heart will be only when we discover the self everywhere. One self. Don't be kripana. Have that Vishuddhi. It's very practical. What is said here, though the highest Vedantic thought, but it's very practical also. Be unbiased in all your employees. According to their rank, you give. According to the performance, you give. But don't create any biasness based on any other non-relating relativity. Like I gave the example that day, if your child is doing good homework, you give good marks to him if you are a teacher of that school. Because he is doing well. But he has not done well yet because he's your son. You are giving extra marks. Then that is कृपणता. You need not. अच्छा कर रहा है तो बाकी बच्चों के समान उसको भी बुला के अवार्ड दे दो. नहीं कर रहा है उसको भी खड़ा करो धूप में. Everywhere so, whether it is an employee, whether it is a neighbors, everywhere. From inside, the drishti of oneness. In the vyavahara, you can't have same vyavahara because depending on the people. Samatha is only darshanam, not action. Action में समता नहीं हो सकता because the things different they are, beings different they are, what they need is different. See, love is same, but the love given to the friends is different, to the brother sisters is different, to the father and mother is different, to the wife is different, to the children. Love remains same, but expresses differently. So love all express differently. Even that also, if a person is doing wrong and is under me, I punish him. That also love's expression. You have to punish when it is required. सुधारने के लिए उसको हो गया. नाउ सेकंड वन देखो. सेकंड इक्वली पावरफुल, ऑलमोस्ट इन सेम टोन. भेद निम्ना पृथक्वादा. तस्मात् therefore ते कृपणाः स्मृताः. That's how such people are seen and noted and written in the books as the people of the kripanata. They become a bad example for the society. Wherever the Bheda Dushti is there is no Shuddhi. Because of the Ashuddhi, they are called Kripana. And the peculiar word Bhagavan is using here, Bheda Nimnaha. Nimnaha means Nimagnaha. Nimagnaha means drowned in. Bheda Nimnaha means drowned in the differentiation. निमग्न हो गया. मग्न होना, निमग्न होना, निम्न होना is drowning. The water falls from up, it gets drowned in the earth. अंदर चला जाता है. If there is another river, it becomes one with that. But drowned only. Water drowning the water. So भेद निम्न पूरे उसमें डूब गए मिस्टर. भेद निम्न डूबे. बी एंड डूबे. अच्छा है कि व्हाट्स योर नेम? आई एम बी एंड डी. भेद निम्न डूबे. मैं भेद भाव में इतना डूब गया हूं, बाहर आ ही नहीं रहा हूं मैं. Just see how powerful is this sentence. That's why we are spending time. Karika reaching to the Abheda Dushti of Sarvam Ekam Atma Eva, when he is looking from that standpoint, the people, their works, their thoughts, their actions, their behavior, he is understanding. ये fellow तो डूबे हुए हैं भेदभाव में. And how do they express that Bheda Nimrata inside? Pruthak Bhavaha. Pruthak Bhava means inside Bhava and outside Bhavanam is called Bhava. Inside Bhava means maintaining the feeling of separateness. Bhavanam means actually outside acting as a separateness only. Remember, instruments, all parts are separate in their names and functions. But as a unit, they are not separate, no? Because together all their parts make that thing. So together all of us parts make the totality. That's the beauty. But then it doesn't mean we are separate from each other. We are all part of one phenomena only. That way we cannot have difference. That we have to maintain. देखो जाति वर्ण आश्रम जो भी differences बताया, to reach us out to the unity, not for differentiating on the basis of them and fighting with each other. That was later on developed. Even the Shudrata, ये सब कोई भी ऐसे नहीं था. सब पहले एक ही ह्यूमन बीइंग सब भगवान को जाना चाहते. But as they were growing in number, because of some instabilities, impurities, then they are put to strict discipline for them to purify and reach Lord. From that only the Varna Vyavastha, the Asana Vyavastha, all of them were Vyavasthas to set right the misbehavior. Later on, that itself became cause of misbehavior. Why I am saying is what? in the creation, there is no differentiation or difference from the purpose standpoint, from the substratum standpoint. Difference is only our external. So भेद निम्नाः, काय का भेद देखते हो अपने आप को भगवान से और दूसरे लोगों से? Develop abheda. Again, million times we are saying the abheda drushti will be there only from atma vastu drushti. From the upadhi drushti, even if you see abheda, you are doing wrong. Because upadhis are different, the beings expressing through upadhi are different, you can never have oneness in them. You can't have. The person who is studying well and the fellow not, दोनों के 10-10 मार्क्स दोगे तो कोई फायदा है क्या उसका पढ़ने का? At the upadhi level, differences are beauty. They don't try to bring oneness. They have to be behaved like that. But don't take it as substratum. Substratum is one without second. Everybody's goal is towards that, to reach to that goal. Like the teacher, whether it says very good or star, whether she punishes, all of that is one idea. Every student does the total class, therefore the total school should excel in the academics. That's the main goal. In the same way. So, भेद निम्नाः, डूबे हुए कितने भेदों में. And therefore, they express that भेद निम्न में पृथक वादाः. Their vadanam is pruthak pruthak. Now remember, one thing is Bhagavan Shankara or Karikakara are talking about the Dvaita darshans other than the Advaita. उनके बारे में सब है. जो भेद देखते हैं, पृथकवाद कहते हैं, भेद में डूबे हुए हैं, उनके अंदर किसी के प्रति इंटेंशन एटीट्यूड प्योर होता ही नहीं. Therefore, they are kripana. But it is equally applicable to the so-called theoretical Advaitins. We are not practically doing the Advaita sadhana. Because whether you believe in Advaita Tattva or Dvaita Tattva, finally, what comes out to depends on what you are doing as sadhana. Finally, जो practically कर रहे हो वही तो फल देता है कि नहीं? Therefore, you and I, though study Mandukya Upanishad, which is establishing Advaita, that we claim and we argue against others trying to prove our Advaita. ये सब तो है ही, but have you inside yourself dropped the Veda Drushti or not? I am theoretically studying, I am substantiating it, stating it, I am supporting, I am endorsing it. But what about your behavior? Whatever you are thinking? A Dvaita in maintaining Dvaita and in that maintaining the dignity of difference of respect, reverence is million times better than a so-called Advaitin but has all the differentiated expressions. ये तो ज़्यादा क्रिमिनल है उनसे भी, क्योंकि उनका बेस ही द्वैत है बट प्रेम से रह रहे हैं. हम बेस अद्वैत है लेकिन एक दूसरे द्वेष कर रहे हैं, एक दूसरे लड़ रहे हैं, एक दूसरे को धोखा दे रहे हैं. ये तो सरासर गलत है. So it's actually addressed to the students only. बेटा अद्वैत पढ़ना ही नहीं, सिर्फ जीना है. जीना means in the अनुभव. When it comes to expression, you have to deal with people differently. That's okay. He is not allowing us to stop at the intellectual level. He says, not only the non-Advaitin Dvaitins, you also will be a Kripana, even after studying all the Upanishads, if you not developed the vision of oneness. That also first intellectually, theoretical. Thereafter, live only at the self level. Leave all other levels. सब कृपणता है वो. It's a very deep thought it is. Continuously maintaining the Akrupana Bhava because of the Advaita Drushti. Akrupanata will be obvious output, byproduct it is. You need not struggle for it. Struggle is for maintaining the Advaita Bhava. Here the Pruthak Bhava. Veda Nimna Pruthak Bhadaha Tasmate Krupanaha Smrutaha. The Krupana, they are just confused. Krupana means very low category people they are. Now see, Yasmat Veda Nimnaha means Veda Anuyayinaha. Those who follow the Bheda Drushti means what? Samsara Anugaha. They are in the samsara. So wherever there is Bheda, there is samsara. Where there is samsara, there is Bheda. Samsara Anugaha iti artha ke, Who are they? Yasmat Vedanimnaha Veda Anuyayinaha Samsara Anugaha Ityartha. Vedanimnaha means डूबे हुए वेद में. Vedanugaha means their whole life's discussion, decision depends only on the Veda. Therefore, where are they? They can never avoid samsara. Remember these two. Veda anugaha is equal to samsara anugaha is equal to kripanaha. Veda nimnaha, Veda anugaha, then samsara anugaha, kripanaha. पृथग्वादाः पृथक् नाना वस्तु इति एवं वदनं येषां ते पृथग्वादाः. They talk about one Paramatma as many. They don't want to accept oneness of Paramatma. That's called as Prathakvadaha, Prathako Nana Vastu Iti. The reality is many, or many things are real. That is what is the language. Realities are many, or many things is real. Are many are not real, reality is not many. Many, wherever the manyness is, there is illusion. And the reality is one without second. It has not become many. That doesn't know those people. They were Pruthakvadaha. Pruthakvadanam. Pruthak Nana Vastu iti evam vadanam yesham. Te Pruthakvadaha. Means what? Simply batao na. Dvaitinaha ityartha. Now Dvaiti, the practical theoretical Dvaiti is all Dvaitins. We are theoretically Advaitin, but practically Dvaita. And why this topic has to specifically said, not only Siddhanta Para, but as long as you are valuing Dvaita, you cannot sit for Advaita meditation. You have got theory of Advaita. You want to explain the Advaita Tattva? Yeah. Then to experience it, how your mind should be free from everything. But is the mind free now? So much of Kripanata in the mind. Why is it coming? Because you are taking it only as theory practically. You are maintaining the Dvaita Bhava. Tasmat, therefore, Dvaitina ityartha. Those who are giving validity to reality to Dvaitins, Dvaita, not accepting the aha. What is Kripanaha? Kshudraha Smrtaha. Kshudraha, Kripanaha means in front of the realized saints or the gurus or shastras, in the eyes of them, they are Kripana. Not only in the eyes of Shastra, but within himself also is always in the life of being limited. He is feeling that Kripanata. And his behavior also is like Kripana only. Kshudraha. Shudra means not a bigger one. Shudra is small. Chote log, narrow minded, you can say. Narrow intellected, narrow conceptual, and narrow behaviors. इस फिजिकल भेद के कारण मतलब स्पिरिचुअल भेद के कारण इन द वर्ल्ड आल्सो देयर इज अ भेद एज आई सेड ऑलवेज देयर आर फियर्स सो पृथक्वादाः ते तस्मात् ते कृपणाः क्षुद्राः स्मृताः न यस्मात् बिकॉज ऑफ दिस वैशारद्यम मीन्स विशुद्धिः न अस्ति तेषां भेदे विचरतां द्वैत मार्गे अविद्या कल्पिते सर्वदा वर्तमानानां So, avidya kalpite dvaita marge sarvada vartamananam means vede visaratam na asti tesham vishuddhi. They can never maintain peace in the mind. Pure mind, peaceful mind. Pure mind and happy mind go together. Okay? And in the impurity of the mind, all the durgunas of raga desha, they are there. So, those can never be avoided in a person who is Vedanimna. That's what I said here. Yasmat Vaisharadhyam, that means Vishuddhi, na asti tesham. They can never bring out the Vishuddhi in their hearts. Vede Visarta, because always they are in the language of Veda only. Then Dvaita Marga Visarta, in the Dvaita Marga, Avidya Kalpite. Even with the God also, when the God is Veda from me, I always demand from him, or fighting with him, or fear from him. Is it not? Fight with the Lord, ye क्यों नहीं दिया मुझे? Demand from the Lord or begging from the Lord, दे दो, दे दो. Then fear from the Lord, if I do wrong, he'll punish me. Even in भगवान केस, भगवान के साथ बैठे हो तुम, तब भी जाकर वहां पे भेद मेंटेन किया, it only leads to कृपणता and दुख. That's what it is here. Avidya kalpite sarvada vartamananam iti artha. So those who are always behaving in the avidya kalpita bheda drishti, they don't have vishuddhi. Their hearts are never pure. Therefore, they always do something or the wrong. Therefore, they are kripana in their own eyes, they are kripana in the other's eyes also. Such a kripana, how can you be happy? So these 4-5 words, remember. Vaisaradyam, that means Vishuddhi, Veda Drushti or Veda Nimagnata, then the Kripanata, then the Akripanata. So those who have Veda Drushti, therefore they are Ashuddhi, they are Kripana. This Abheda Eka Brahma Drushti, then they are Akripana. There is a Shuddhi in them, the purity in them. So at a very high level, considering Dvaita itself is the first and foremost Ashuddhi. भावना करना ही कि कुछ जगत अलग है भगवान से, वहां से सब अशुद्धियां शुरू होते हैं. And the more you promote them, the more you involve in those ashuddhi of the Dvaita, the more we are limited, conditioned by our own self. Kripana. These are very technical, powerful words. I am only conveying 3 or 2% of its feeling or meaning. बाकी आप फील करो थोड़ा होमवर्क में आप में घर में. What is the meaning of भेदवाद? What is the भेद दृष्टि? Where is the Vishuddhi? Where is the Shuddhi? Ashuddhi? Where is Kripanata? Where is Akripanata? What is the meaning of it? Okay. Finally, yat atah yuktam eva tesham karpanamit abhiprayah. It's obvious then they experiencing Kripanata and they are being blamed by the saints as Kripana. There's nothing wrong because they are in Veda. How? See, when they are in Veda Dushti, there is a Ashuddhi in their Antakarana. When the Ashuddhi is there in the Antakarana, the actions are based on Antakarana only. They do wrong action. Naturally, they will feel they get wrong result, therefore Kripana. People who are looking at them, they will humiliate them, therefore Kripana. अंदर की कृपणता क्या है? लिमिटेशन. बाहर की कृपणता क्या है? ब्लेमिश. Inside we feel limited, outside we get blemish because our actions are wrong. Why? Based on the Veda. Here, those who humiliate, insult are not necessary people, but the rishis, munis or the god. In their nazar, hum gir jate. Whenever I maintain Veda Drushti, in my antakana, the Ashuddhi will come. Then I keep doing something unsatisfactory or wrong thing. Then that makes me insulted by others. That is Kripanata. And that makes me from inside also the insulted, from within, that also Kripanata. So self-pity to myself and pity from others. कोई भी गलत काम किया खुद को भी अंदर से गिल्ट होता है, others also find fault with it. As simple as that. Others also insult है, बच्चा फेल हो गया, खुद को भी दुख होता है अंदर से, फिर घर में सब डांटते हैं. Such a gross example. Same for the IS Vedanta. When you maintain the Dvaita, your mind is Ashuddha, so you can never be at ease or peace with yourself. That's called your Kripanata. And with Veda Drushti, when you behave outside, then the others also smell it and they don't like it. And the funniest part in the world is what? Just like, I may not love others, but I want others to love me. So too, I may not stop hating, but I want others not to hate me. I may not help others, but I want others to help me. In the same way, I may not have Veda Drushti, Aveda Drushti, but if others have Veda Drushti, I don't like it. I want them to have Aveda only. If they don't have, then we blame them. विचित्र होता है. तस्माते कृपणाः स्मृताः. कृपणता खुद को अंदर से महसूस हो रहा है and then they are called as कृपणा only. कृपणा means a feeling of sympathy toward them. ये बेचारे हैं, लाचार हैं, एक बेचारे है ना, like the Sri Lanka. So कृपणा because the president जा नहीं रहा है वो, and the cost of living is increasing day by day. From within also कृपणा, the outside also there is कृपणता. तस्माते कृपणा स्मृताः. Now, यदिदं परमार्थतत्त्वम् अमात्मभिः अपण्डितैः वेदान्तबहिष्टैः क्षुद्रैः अल्पप्रज्ञैः अनवगाह्यम् इति आह. Now, this was so far told about those Krupanas who are engrossed in or deeply dwelling in Dvaita Drushti, immersed in. So, उनका थोड़ा निंदा किया है. द्वैत दृष्टि वाले कृपण है, निंदा. No, the Advaita Drushti wale Kripan nahi hai, mahan hai. You have to do the stuti of them. Then only when we listen to those sentences, of course, taking the data and fully contemplating, when we realize it, then that path of Abhedata in which the stuti is done, we will pursue it. Guru Maharaj is telling his student, Beta, sun liya na tumne? Yeah, even after all listening, if you maintain Veda Drushti, you are in Kripanata inside and from outside. Therefore, निंदा कर रहे हैं उस भेद दृष्टि का जिससे कृपणता का उत्पन्न होता है. Agar said is doing the stuti. On the other hand, if you are abheda bhava, you are maintaining, there is no ashuddhi inside. You are so shuddhi in your thought, word, and deed. Therefore, everybody loves you. You also feel elated. Therefore, there is no kripanata. Therefore, तुम चूज करो कौन सा चूज करना. चॉइस तुम्हारा, हम दोनों को बता चुके. That sort of feeling in these two shlokas. Through studying the Agama Prakarana, Vaitatya, Advaita, and Alatha Shanti. Do you want to discover one without second self and permanently become Shuddha and Akurpana? Or studied but itna kafi hai karke subject को रख के continuing the Veda Bhava and continuing the Ashuddhi and continuing to be Krupana? बच्चे लोग इतना करके इतना पढ़ के तो still you want to be like that. That's what the feeling of Karika Kara, that he not only is want to theoretically educate the children, but he wants them to get benefit out of it by practicing it. Never become Krupana in your life. एक ट्रू गुरु एंड ट्रू भगवान का हमेशा ये ख्याल होता है कि दे डोंट वांट टू से देयर डिसाइपल आर डिवोटीज आर चिल्ड्रन कृपणा. कहीं तुम झुकना नहीं, अपने सर को झुकाना नहीं. Which we talk in the world, my child should not fail when I am sending him to another university. He should not fail in jobs or interview. किसको लगता है बताओ अपने बच्चे का बेइज्जती हो? किस गुरु को होता है कि अपने शिष्य का बेइज्जती हो? नहीं. So that he wants to avoid and never become Krupana. And he is giving the ultimate means of rising of all Krupanata. Otherwise, at the empirical level, you may try to become non-Krupana by bringing out some or the other unison, but permanently it won't be there. Permanent Akrapanata is only by becoming Shuddha in the heart. The heart becomes Shuddha without any impurity, immaculate, only in the vision of Abheda Paramatma. और परमात्मा ही अभेद है, उनके अलावा सब कुछ भेद है. सिर्फ परमात्मा को ही देखना है, परमात्मा को ही सब जगह देखना है. See the Lord and see the Lord alone. That's called Abheda Drushti. See the Lord and Him alone. I have seen Rama. Rama alone everywhere. So I have seen Parabrahma. Parabrahma alone everywhere. That is called Abheda Drushti. That is the final one. Remember, इसमें कोई alternative नहीं है. इसके अलावा मैं और कुछ कर सकता हूँ क्या? You may see the Abhedata from other standpoint, but there will be some other standpoint where you have to bring the Bhedata. Is it not? Only Atma Drushti is Abheda because Atma alone is Abheda. Everything is Bheda. Like all Indians joined a university in Australia. There is Abhedata because all Indians. But again there are differences, Bheda, because somebody is pursuing science, somebody is pursuing physics or arts. Bheda होगा कि नहीं? You can't avoid it. और फिर वहाँ भी ताना बाना बना लेते हैं. All from Indians, but the Punjabi Indians are different. They maintain their group. The Sindhi Indians are different, their group. So Guju, they'll make their own, all apna wala. The Bengal Indians, they are based in their chom and Roshogulla. And then all South. In the South, again, Kerala coconut wale alag hai. Tamil Nadu imli wale alag hai. Andhra ke mirchi wale alag hai. So many differences. They are unavoidable, yaar, if you are in that world of grossness. ये व्यवहार में चलता है. Let that vyavahara should not disturb me. How? Only when you develop the vision of Advaita Brahma. Remember, final thought of the day. Without the Advaita Brahma, Anubhava and Drushti, how much ever Ekata you try to bring in anything is the world, neither it is possible nor long standing. It will lead to Krupanata. You can't bring people together on any front, whether even religious front you can't bring. Every front, because there are differences in that. All Hindus cannot become together because in that again Vaishnava, Saiva are there. अलग अलग है, उसमें inherent भेद है. Then how to bring Hindus all together? Only when you talk one Parabrahma. When you talk about one Parabrahma, all difference of Hindus, non-Hindus, that also gone. In Parabrahma they are not there. To reach Parabrahma, some sadhanas help us. After reaching it, he alone is there. फिर से कह रहे हैं, any effort to bring oneness is will be utter failure, will not be lasting long in the world outside. The oneness need not be brought. Then already existing one Abheda Paramatma, we have to develop that vision and look from that standpoint. Take that standpoint as ultimate. From that standpoint only you decide everything. Keep that only as the goal and keep that as a final parameter to even visualize all the plans, all the rules, regulations that are made at the Vyavahara level. व्यवहार में जो कुछ भी प्लान करके निर्णय करते हो या इवन फिजिकली काम करते हो, वो अद्वैत आत्मा को दृष्टि में ही रख के करना है और उसी को लक्ष्य बनाना है. एंड वेन एवर देयर कम्स अ कॉम्पिटिशन, देन यू ड्रॉप योर भेद व्यवहार बट यूनाइट विद द ट्रुथ लेवल. That is called as akurpanata. That's called as shuddhi. That's called as no more drowned in the bheda bhava. Now the positive thing is told to them about the encouragement is given to the Abheda Dushti people. Their stuti is done. We have not explained the avatarika, I know, of this 95th mantra. Tomorrow we'll do. Now we just chant the mantra. अजय साम्ये तु एकेचित् भविष्यन्ति सुनिश्चिताः ते हि लोके महाज्ञानाः तच्च लोको न गाहते. अजय साम्ये तु एकेचित् भविष्यन्ति सुनिश्चिताः ते हि लोके महाज्ञानाः तच्च लोको न गाहते. अजेष्वजम् असङ्क्रान्तं धर्मेषु ज्ञानमिष्यते यतो न क्रमते ज्ञानम् असङ्गं तेन कीर्तितम्. अजेषु असङ्गम् अजेषु अजम् अजेष्वजम् असङ्क्रान्तं धर्मेषु ज्ञानमिष्यते यतो न क्रमते ज्ञानम् असङ्गं तेन कीर्तितम्. अणुमात्रेऽपि वैधर्म्ये जायमाने अविपश्चितः असङ्गता सदा नास्ति किं तावरणच्युतिः. अणुमात्रेऽपि वैधर्म्ये जायमाने अविपश्चितः असङ्गता सदा नास्ति किं तावरणच्युतिः. अलब्धावरणाः सर्वे धर्माः प्रकृतिनिर्मलाः आदौ बुद्धाः सदा मुक्ताः बुध्यन्ते नायकाः. अलब्धावरणाः सर्वे धर्माः प्रकृतिनिर्मलाः आदौ बुद्धाः सदा मुक्ताः बुध्यन्ते नायकाः. क्रमतेन हि बुद्धस्य ज्ञानं धर्मेष्टायिनः सर्वे धर्माः सदा ज्ञानं नैतद्बुद्धेन भाषितम्. क्रमतेन हि बुद्धस्य ज्ञानं धर्मेष्टायिनः सर्वे धर्माः सदा ज्ञानं नैतद्बुद्धेन भाषितम्. दुर्दर्शमति गम्भीरमजं साम्यं विशारदं बुद्ध्वा पदम् अनानात्वं नमस्कुर्म यथा बलं. दुर्दर्शमति गम्भीरमजं साम्यं विशारदं बुद्ध्वा पदम् अनानात्वं नमस्कुर्म यथा बलम्. What a beautiful thought it is. We are only at the initial level. We need to do a lot of research, study, contemplation. Then we understand about the truth. At that time, we will get what KARIKA is meaning by the Shuddhi or Akrupnata or Bhedra Itya, all that. As an introduction is given. भेद में कृपणता है, अशुद्धि है, दुख है, संसार है. अभेद में ही अकृपणता है, शुद्धि है, संसार नहीं है. अभेद is an anubhava of the abheda atma. In other cases, you cannot establish the bheda in the maya kruta jagat. Therefore, there is no way other than transcending maya kruta jagat and entering the abheda atma. दूसरा alternative नहीं. It's like the doctor prescribing a medicine. Other than this medicine, you will not have cure for your disease. Point one. Point two, that medicine is available only in my chemist shop. Interesting. Other than this, there is no medicine and it's available in my. वहीं जाकर लेना. In the same way, only in the Abheda Drushti, there is no Ashuddhi or Kripanata or Samsara. And Abheda Drushti is only in the Brahma Tattva, nowhere else. Therefore, ब्रह्म तत्व को पाकर, अभय दृष्टि को पाकर, कृपणता को और ये अशुद्धि को पार करो, त्याग करो. That's the idea. ओम 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 ओम. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. परमर्षिभ्यो नमः. परब्रह्मणे नमः. श्रुतिमात्रेण मंडूकमर्षे गौडपादाचार्यवर्याय नमः. आदिशंकरद्गुरवे नमः. सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. तत्सद्ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. Very sublime is this